The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Welcome back to another Keefer and Kurre, a show where Kip Keefer and myself, Tony Kurre, we just kind of talk about whatever we want to talk about. We've only done this show, Kip, I think, once or twice where we actually did not have a subject to get into. And it's amazing because a lot of people say that's how podcasts work. You just sit down and you just start talking. I tend to believe that you should have some type of topic or something to get behind, and we certainly have one today. Something that you and I both have a lot of knowledge about, and something that is about as hot as anything is in this country right now. Today, I want to talk about weight loss drugs. Win?
Okay.
Only because I know that you, and I hope you don't mind me divulging this information, but you've been on some weight loss medication. I was on some weight loss medication. People look at me going, why the hell are you on weight loss? I carry my weight really well because I'm 6'5", and it usually hits the middle area. I can always tell around the waist if I'm getting too big or too small. Recently, for some reason, I've been on this ice cream kick. I don't know what the hell's going on, and I've gained like 28 pounds, and people are like, no way. I'm like, I know. I went from like 202 to 230 over the course of like 2 months, and so I want to get back on one of these weight loss drugs. And first of all, from a cost standpoint, $1,112 was what they wanted for this Ozempic, or I was on the Mounjaro. And so I was thinking to myself, what if it was as easy as going to someone and giving them money for every pound you wanted to lose, and you could lose it immediately? And my question to you is, what cost is it worth a pound to you? In other words, if I said, listen, is it $5 a pound? Are you willing to pay $50 a pound? Are you willing to pay what is the number that you would be willing to pay to lose weight without having to do anything? Just sit there and it comes off like right now.
Yeah, well, I that's an interesting question. I have done the math for what's happened so far. Since I started this, I've lost 23 pounds. This is my 4th month. So that's a pretty good start. That works out for what I'm paying for this stuff, works out to about $43 a pound. So, that seems like an awful lot of money. But in my particular case, Tony, my doctor, Dr. Fry, the medical guy, is what I've called him for a long time. I stole that from Bill Nye, the science guy. Dr. Fry, just a great guy. One of the best investments I ever made was listening to my lovely, brilliant radio partner, and Tony's my lovely other brilliant radio partner, but Terry Quillian, who suggested that, because I was always complaining about having to go to the doctor, and I didn't like being just shuffled in and out of there like, some kind of refugee. She says, well, you could just pay a little extra and get a concierge doctor. And if people are not familiar with the concierge doctor concept, it is fabulous because, yes, you pay a fee every year. It's not a ridiculous amount of money. It's broken up in quarterly payments in my particular case, but you get a doctor who has affiliated with these kind of groups. And Dr. Fry was a godsend for me because I became my own healthcare advocate. He's, you don't go in there and be in a waiting room with 50 people and after waiting an hour, they shuffle you in there in one of 500 rooms, and the guy comes in for 2 or 3 minutes and just can't wait to get out of there and run to Mrs. Mulligan next door. What you go in there and you get your tests, and when all that stuff comes back, he's got computer printouts, sits down with you for like 45 minutes, goes over every single health aspect that there is, and it's just fantastic. You've got instant access to a doctor by paying a little bit more in a fee every year, and it's some of the best money that I spend. But that being said, I was losing weight on my own. I had started a couple of years ago, just doing it the hard way, just trying to eat less portions and whatnot. Because when I first started seeing him, I had ballooned up to 268 pounds, which is ridiculous. Wow. Yeah. Like you, I'm so kind of wide and husky. I think I carried it pretty well, so I didn't look like just a fat slob, but I knew I was fat, and I knew that I had health problems as a result of that. And so with his encouragement, I wasn't on anything. I just did it kind of the old fashioned way. I ran a little bit. I worked out in the gym when I still lived down in South Side and had access to my own gym at my residence. But the bottom line is I had managed to get off about 25 pounds on my own over about a 2 or 3 year period.
Nice, nice.
And last year in an appointment, he said, because he was looking at my cholesterol and my triglycerides and all that kind of stuff, and my blood sugar levels, and all of them had improved a lot since then. He says, compared to how you were when you first came in here 5 years ago, you've made huge progress. But he says, are you ready to go to the next level? Because they already had me on some kind of drugs or medications to help control my high triglycerides and blood sugar and all that. He said, these shots, these injections that people are using for weight loss, he said, in your case, if you could get 20 more pounds off, this stuff is not only designed for you to lose weight, this would serve both those purposes.
Mhm.
He says, I think you could be in the catbird seat if you could get 20 more pounds off. And right at that time, I was right around 240. He said, if you could get down to 220, maybe even 215, he said, you'd be, for your build, just about at a perfect spot. And not only that, helping you lose weight, these drugs I can use these drugs to replace the stuff you've been on already, because this will be more effective for the things you do have plaguing you. So it was a no-brainer for me, and it's worked out great until this week, where I had a few little turbulent hiccups.
Yeah. First of all, if anyone's looking for a magic pill, it does not exist. It will never exist. It does not exist. This is as close as we've come to a magic pill. The secret is this: burn more than you take in.
That's exactly.
I don't know how else to put it. I mean, if you want to lose weight, you got to burn more than you take in. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to get up and exercise. You don't have to do squat. You just need to burn more than you take in. So if you're not going to move and you're going to burn 55 calories today, then you can only take in 54 calories, and you ain't going to lose a lot of weight that way. And I know a lot of people like you like to work out. When I start working out, my appetite just goes through the roof. And of course, my hours have changed, so I've been hitting a lot of sweets at night. I'll skip dinner and have a bowl of ice cream. At a bowl of ice cream is 4,000 calories. So skipping dinner doesn't make. I do too. I mean, I'm just a sucker for it. So whether you're doing Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro, some type of semaglutide, Zepbound, one of these things, we're here today as two guys who have used this process to tell you what some of the secrets are behind it and whether it actually works. The question is Ozempic right for me? If you're one of these people that needs to lose 25 or 30 pounds, I'm not talking about diabetes or high blood pressure. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm just talking about weight loss, okay? I got on Ozempic, and my doctor gave me some. Gave me a month's worth, and he said it's amazing. He said you'll start losing a pound a day in your third or fourth week, and then basically it's a startup. It's a restarter. You have to have a lifestyle change. Diets don't work. Okay, my mom used to lose 55 pounds every spring.
Wow.
She would join Weight Watchers. She would lose 55 pounds because she knew she was going on a cruise with my dad the first week of June. And she didn't want to be fat. And then when she come back, within a month and a half, she was right back to that 55 pounds again. And then some. And then the next January come around, she'd go on this diet. And I can't tell you if that's necessarily healthy or good for a body to go up and down. I would not think it is.
No.
But for people who are wondering whether they should pull the trigger, and I lost like 29 pounds, $1,127. It comes out to $38 a pound. You do have to look at it that way. Here's the issue, though, and I'll say this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, because you've been taking something now for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it's the 4th month. Yeah.
I think the way he gave it to me was like get a month and then maybe get one more stick and just take it every once in 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something, just to kind of ease yourself off of it. And hopefully by then you've changed your lifestyle. If you are getting after it, you're not working out, you're not walking the neighborhood, and you're doing these things, and you take this drug, and it's an appetite regulator, it's an insulin secretion appetite thing. It activates something called the GLP-1 receptor. It basically tells you it doesn't make you lose weight. It doesn't make you burn the weight. It just makes you not hungry. You're just not hungry. And so you don't eat. Okay. So, which is another thing that's not healthy because you can go, I remember going 3 or 4 days and I'm sitting with my kids and my kids are like, are you going to eat dinner tonight? And I'm like, no. And my son was like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm taking something, lose some weight. And he goes, dude, you haven't eaten since Tuesday. And it was Friday. I hadn't eaten anything since Tuesday. And didn't
I've had
feel
the same thing.
Anything. Felt great. I mean, I didn't feel anything. I mean, I had good energy, but it's not good for your body. It's not good for your body. And so you're starving your body. So it's going to eat itself within the inside in. So I just want people to know that this is a quick fix. This is one of those, hey, listen, I got a gym membership and I want to lose a couple pounds before I get in. It don't work that way. You got to jump right in. And if you're going to change your diet and you want to lose weight, that comes along with doing this pill. If you want to take this pill and lose the weight remarkably fast, and then turn the switch on after about 30 or 45 days and go, okay, now I'm eating chicken breast and salads, from here on out. Good for you. But if you go right back to the way you were, the weight will come back within about 3 weeks.
Oh,
You're going to be right back in the same situation. First of all, you're going to be a lot lighter in the wallet. And it's probably not really good, healthy for you, for your weight to go up and down. I would love to get your thoughts because my doctor gave me a pen. He said, here, try this. You're going to love it. And I got down to 202. My pants I was all about it, man. I was like, first of all, I felt kind of wrong. Because no one looks at me and goes, hey, you look great. Because again, I don't carry it. It doesn't. I don't, when I gain 30
because you told
pounds,
me recently you're gaining weight. And I see you every 3 times, a couple times a week. I don't notice it at all.
I only notice it because I'm the only one that sees myself naked. The other thing is,
I don't need to get into that area.
The other thing is, and a lot of people are seeing this, it is called Wegovy or Ozempic face.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just telling you, when I go like this, that chin thing, I've been on television with you a couple of times. The first couple of times we sat on the couch, I leaned back and I was like, holy crap, I look like Jabba the Hutt. I had this thing coming down. I was like, what the hell is that? So you'll notice me on ABC 3340 when we do our starting lineup, I'm always leaning forward. And I think that's what you do when you do, YouTube videos and stuff. That's why they always tell you to put the video thing up top instead of the bottom because you're not looking down.
Yeah, you don't want
to but you lose weight. But you don't lose necessarily the weight where you want to lose it.
Right.
What I'm saying is a lot of people are losing a lot of weight in their face. And what happens there is they become very gaunt looking and they look very sickly looking. And you and I had this discussion about a couple of our friends of ours that we're not going to mention that lost a ton of weight when they were like in their mid 50s.
And it makes them look terrible.
We thought they had AIDS.
Looks like they've been released by Hamas as a hostage.
Well, I thought a friend of mine had AIDS. I was like, do you have AIDS? He's like, no. I said, dude. And of course, he's walking around in his brand new clothes. And I said, you look like hell. He said, well, thanks a lot. I said, no. I said, you look so old. So it does make you look older in the face. So that's something to think about when you do those things. What would you say? So tell me how you went through it. I just told you, explain to you how and I'm going to go through it again. I'm going to go through it again because I got a 230. I'm 59 years old. I'm looking for a woman. The research I've done this morning has said that if you want to take the weight off and keep the weight off, plan on taking this for the rest of your life. I don't know if that's healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's okay. I don't know if it's good to take it every other month. You'll have to talk to your provider, your doctor, and see if it's healthy. But they're saying basically, if you want to leave the weight off and you're not willing to make some major lifestyle change, it doesn't mean giving up chocolate cake or chocolate ice cream or stuff. It's just moderation. Then plan on taking this stuff every month. And if you're talking about it every month, then you may be talking about $50 a pound. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Tell me I want to hear how you went through it because you took it a lot longer than I did.
Yeah. When I started, he started me, they have varying degrees of dose strength. And I don't really know how that goes, but I started on 2.5. I think that's where you said you started. 2.5 is like the second highest. I think you can go all the way down to 1, which is like the most mild dose.
0.5. You go to 0.5.
0.5. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I started at the 2.5. He said, this should be good for you. And he says, if you don't have any ill effects, we'll just kind of gradually, graduate it up. So we started at 2.5. I did that for the first 2 months. I had, Tony, no reaction. Talking to people that had been on it, and we know about your ex-wife, and she had a bad reaction to it. There's a lot of my friends that had the same experience that said, "Don't you have terrible indigestion and stomach problems?" And I mean, a lot of people had horror stories because I guess some systems are really react negatively to this stuff. I had no issues, and it did. I wouldn't say it completely suppressed my appetite, but it really diminished it. And the other thing it does, when you do sit down and start to eat it, I did things that were unimaginable to me just a month before. I'd get a filet mignon at Ruth's Chris and eat like 2/3 of it and go, "Oh, I'm done." I mean, you get like stuff. Which is another interesting thing. So it's portion control where you don't even have to think about it because you just can't eat anymore. So that for the 3rd month, and I didn't even have the discussion with him. I guess he just figured since he hadn't heard from me, I pick up my 3rd month and it's 0.5. Which was a little stronger. I think the appetite suppression effect was a lot stronger, but once again, no ill effects for me whatsoever. Well, this last time, this 4th batch that I just picked up a week ago, they bumped me all the way up to 10, which is the second highest. 15, I guess, is the top level. What if the Hollywood people have to lose 30 pounds in a month for a role? That's what they're on. And I can't imagine, because I'm telling you, Tony, this 10 strength is a whole different animal. Right away, the second day, I got this terrible feeling of stomach acid. I could just feel something wasn't right in my stomach. I'm having these and I don't. This is kind of gross, but I've from the back end, it's not too solid right now. But on the other side, it's the top that's annoying because I'll have these. Like when I sit up in bed, I have this like rush of gas comes up from my stomach into my esophagus, and it makes you make these outrageous burps that I've never done anything like. I mean, some of them last 7 or 8 seconds. I mean, and they just reverberate like it's an earthquake, and it's like, did I just? Holy shit! What the hell's happening?
Your grandkids must think you're a blast.
Oh, I can.
Oh, my finger.
I can entertain the best of them. Yeah. So anyway, the bottom line is, for 2 days I was miserable because the second day was really the worst because I would be sitting passively there, trying not to move around much because I just didn't feel well, and I'd have like a rush of like stomach acid up into my throat, and immediately, just like flipping a switch, I would get an uncontrollable case of hiccups, and just every 5 seconds, every breath, basically, I just over and over and over. And I've had hiccups in the past. Everybody's had hiccups, but I've never had this chronic, can't get rid of them hiccups. And I finally went in, I got a Powerade out of the refrigerator because I had read something that, a really cold beverage, if you can try and change the regulation and whatever triggers that, the epiglottis or whatever the hell it's called. And I guzzled like a 20-ounce Powerade, and they went away. It was amazing. So I go to bed, and I hadn't been, I like rolled over and it triggered them again, and try to sleep when you're hiccuping every 10 seconds. It's impossible. Anyway, so I battled that for 2 days, and blessedly I got up on Thursday and Friday. I actually got through our show this weekend, which was miraculous, because hiccuping on TV is not really a good look or sound. And most of them weren't audible. They were more like a spasm. But that was the worst thing that I've gone through in a while because it's so uncomfortable. But since Saturday, I have not had hiccup once. So bless the Lord.
What is your prognosis, and what is the next level? When your doctor put you on, he said 4 doses or 4 months. That now you're off of it. After this 10, you're done, or
no? There was no time limit put on it. The last appointment was, let's bump you up to 10. And if you don't have any ill effects, let's keep this up until we get down to, the level, our
Okay.
target level, which he wanted me to lose 20 more pounds. He thought that would do amazing things for my health and all of these different things that I've been on meds for a few years. And we'll see. Now, like you said, I know the trend is that people tend to get off that and shoot right back up.
Yep.
So I can tell you, after going through this, I have no intention of doing that. So if I had to go back to like the low dose or something just for maintenance, because I know that doesn't have any effect on me at all, other than suppressing my appetite, that would probably be what because I really can't even conceived on another month of this 10 strength, because this stuff is some badass stuff. I have not felt one pang of hunger, Tony, all week. Right now, I've barely eaten since like last Wednesday. I went to yesterday to Waffle House with my son and his girlfriend, and usually I get the all-star breakfast with all the fixings and everything else. I had a biscuit yesterday at Waffle House.
I know, man. I mean, it's crazy. What concerns me a little bit. Listen, if you got money and you do what you want.
And my insurance is covering it, by the way,
well,
because of the fact that I have those proclivities of pre-diabetes and high triglycerides or whatever.
And a lot of people are like wondering, why won't insurance cover it? It was not made to be a drug loss or weight loss drug.
No.
And so it's not.
People found out it could do that.
Yeah, insurance companies, they found out about that. So it's one of those things where if you have diabetes and you lose the weight on top of it, super big, because most people who have diabetic problems usually are a little overweight anyway. What scares me about it is, and I know this firsthand, is as I gained weight, 217, 218, 219, 220, bowls of ice cream Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and I'm thinking, and what I was thinking to myself was, go ahead and have it, because you're going to go and get this weight loss medicine again, and you might as well knock it out and blow it out. It's like a guy getting drunk before he checks himself into Bradford. You might as well go, if you're going to drink, you might as well blow the doors off before you go into rehab. And that's the only way I can think about it, because I've been there. So I'm thinking to myself, so that's not healthy thinking. That's not good discipline.
No.
That's not good discipline to think to myself, should I eat another candy bar, even though I know I normally wouldn't, but now I can? And my worst is my Girl Scout cookies came in 20 fucking boxes of Girl Scout cookies. I got 12 boxes of Thin Mints, and I'm telling you, I looked,
and you can't stop with those.
Samoas and tagalongs, 60 calories a cookie. 60 calories a cookie, and they say that a serving size is 2. I can eat an entire box of Thin Mints, and it's like 4,700 calories. It's like eating 3 Big Macs in one sitting. And I ate a box last night with a gallon of milk, and I was so happy. But again, if you go into something, there is no magic pill. This will make you lose the weight, but it's going to come right back on. I promise you, unless you change your life. And that's the best thing I can say for people that can do that. Good for you. That's fantastic. If you just need a jump start, I think a lot of people, if at our age we're given the opportunities, hey, listen, I could take 30 pounds off you in 30 days. Would you take it? Hell yeah. I think that some people would probably spend $2,000 or $3,000 to do that. Well, you can do that. I mean, you can do that. Now, once you get down to the weight, it's up to you what you want to do with it next. And then again, like we said, I've had some friends of mine. You've certainly had your share, but some people, they had to go to the hospital because of it.
Yeah.
So make sure you check with your doctor, because if you've got some other internal issues, it may not jive with what you got, and there are different types of stuff. But good for people. I mean, I'm glad people are giving it a shot. I think you look fantastic. I don't think any differently you do. The fact that you're not in a gym 4 days a week losing weight. Although if you did it that way, that would be super too. I think just the fact you look good, you need to lose weight. No matter how you do it, I'm busy as hell. I walk every single day. I don't have time to go to a gym 4 days a week. I don't want to go to a gym 4 days a week. I stay pretty busy with my 3 kids. But as long as you can lose the weight, and if you got any concerns, or if you've been through the weight loss situation, you've got anything you want to tell us, info at TonyCurryRadio.net, info at TonyCurryRadio.net. I'd love to hear other people's stories, because now the prices are going to come down, and it's amazing, because every time I go to a doctor's office, and there's 30 people in a waiting room, 28 of them are morbidly obese. I'm talking 30
Yep.
to 60
Our
pounds
whole
overweight.
country is basically that
And they're
way.
there for everything from asthma to diabetes to, I mean, all kinds of issues. And I'm like, man, lose some weight, take some weight off. We are just we are just a glutton for punishment.
I'm in the 220s for the first time in 35 years.
How do you feel? Do you feel fantastic?
I was feeling good till I got on this higher dose. Hopefully everything's going to label, but I was feeling really good the last couple of weeks leading up to them boosting me up. And if this accelerates the process, that's good. I do want to say one thing, because one thing that kind of freaked me out was the idea of giving myself an injection every week. I've always felt so sorry for diabetic friends. How can they? Because I just have this kind of still kid-like fear. I don't have a fear of shots, but I've never ever liked that idea. But these dispensers they sell you are very easy. You don't even have to provide the jab yourself. You just push. You said something about pulling the trigger on this. That's literally what you push the trigger. It shoots a little skinny needle in. They wanted me to inject him into my stomach, which at first I said, "Are you kidding? I got to stab myself in the stomach." But it's nothing. It's nothing.
No, you don't feel anything.
You pinch a little bit.
It's just as long, and it's not even the size of a needle. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because when he told me about that, I was like, I'm gonna have to give myself a. Because when my ex was pregnant, I had to give her a shot every day for a while, and I remember, just I hated to have to do that.
It's traumatic.
Yeah. But yeah, for that shot, yeah, it's not a shot. I don't even. It's a kick stick.
You know when I got over that? What the short part of my career, I actually worked for my father-in-law and was a trainer in a greyhound kennel. Racing greyhounds, and you had to give the females shots to control them coming into heat periodically, like once a month and whatnot. And I was like apologizing to them before I would try to administer, but they just were totally indifferent, and it showed me they don't care about this because it's nothing, because they're not thinking of it. It's all in your head. If you're afraid of needles and all that, it's no big deal. It's all psychological.
I've got a son that doesn't like shots, but we have to take I'll say oil. We have to take blood from him, for his blood checkup once a year. And I was like, you don't like shots, but they're sticking a needle in your arm for like 6 minutes straight, and you don't say a word. And he's like, oh, that's right. And I said, that takes like a half a second.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's nothing. It really isn't. It's more of a mind thing. Well, man, I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
I think you look great. And I think, I certainly, there's a lot of different reasons why we do it. You're doing it for a lot of your health reasons, but I mean, I'm not going to be too vain to say I want to look as good as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. And, neither one of us are taken right now, and whoever gets us are going to be a lucky gal. So we're going to look the best we possibly can.
Well, you'll laugh at this. Different things motivate us. This one particular woman that I've been hopelessly in love with for a long time said to me in a conversation, not when all this was kind of starting, the Fox News personality Sean Hannity has recently divorced his wife, and he's taken up with another host at Fox, and he's moved to Florida. He's driving a Tesla. He's going through the classic, midlife crisis, whatever. And she told me in a conversation back 3 or 4 months ago, right when this was about the surgery, have you seen Sean Hannity lately? He's getting fat as hell. And I said, women really pay attention to this shit.
Wow.
I said, you just say, well, I'm good how I am, and if they don't accept me, but if you're out there, you got to take every edge you can possibly take, because I'm telling you, there is nobody more judgmental than our lovely feminine friends, American women. And you don't give them any reason to put you in the reject pile unless it's something that you earn. So that's a powerful motivator.
Listen,
you might think you look okay, but if you're still in the game, you probably need some work.
If I was rich, I'd go buy about a box of 50 of these pens, and I would call up 50 of my ex-girlfriends on Facebook and just send it to them in the mail. Here's a little gift. I just thought maybe you want to try this. Call me in 30 days. Let's see how you look.
That's hilarious.
Everyone on Facebook 20 years later has gained the extra 35 or 40 pounds. A lot of people don't know about this stuff yet. They're going to find out about it. If you get the money for it, go for it. Do whatever makes you feel good. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
All right. Hopefully we had some information that will clear up some things, because I really knew nothing. I knew it existed. I knew people in Hollywood were doing it. But I didn't know any of the details till I started this. And, like I say, if you get to a certain dosage that maybe is a little bit overpowering, which I think maybe where I am now, and I've got 3 more weeks of those sitting here on the table, ready to go. But that's the only thing. Just monitor how it's affecting you, because I can tell you the early doses didn't have any ill effects at all. And the other really powerful motivation, the day I got married to, I've only been married once, November 15th, 1986, I weighed 238 pounds. Today I weigh, however many 35 years, 40 years later, I weigh 227, and I feel good. I feel good about myself.
That's fantastic. I love it. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, Tony.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.